information about the upcoming blanks, doubles and chip strategy. Let's start with what we know so far. We know that there will be a blank in game week 31, so a blank game week 31. What's 100% sure is that Wolves and Arsenal will have a blank. We're pretty sure that Crystal Palace and Man City will blank as well in this game week, but there is a small chance that actually this game will go ahead. But both Crystal Palace and Man City, they need to get knocked out of their European competition. So Crystal Palace playing in the Europa Conference League while Man City playing in the Champions League. So if they both get knocked out, they can potentially play this game in game week 31. But as it stands, it really looks likely that at least Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Man City and Wolves will blank in blank game week 31. So what we know so far is that the Wolves against Arsenal fixture got played in double game week 26. So this was the reason why Wolves and Arsenal doubled in game week 26. Man City against Crystal Palace, this game has not yet been rescheduled. It looks really likely that this will be in double game week 33. So as mentioned, if they blank in blank game week 31, it looks really likely that there will be a double game week 33 and Man City and Crystal Palace will play twice. So Man City, they will play against Arsenal and Crystal Palace, both home fixtures, while Crystal Palace, they will play at home against West Ham and then away against Man City. So we might want to have a couple of Man City players for those games. Of course, Arsenal not the best opponent, but at home at the Etihad, I think that this could be potentially a good fixture for Man City. It's really tight at the top of the table as well. Both Man City and Arsenal are fighting to win the Premier League this season, so this could potentially be a really important fixture for both teams. Crystal Palace, they have struggled a bit recently. There have been some rumors about Glasner leaving Crystal Palace before the summer, but it will be really interesting to see how they look going into game week 33. So double game week 33, we know that Crystal Palace, Man City potentially can play twice this game week, but there will most probably be a lot of teams doubling in this game week. So as we can see on the screen, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Fulham, Sunderland, Wolves, Newcastle, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Burnley, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest and Spurs. All of those teams, if they reach the next round of the FA Cup, they will have a blank in blank game week 34, and the fixture will most probably be moved and played in double game week 33. So there are some really interesting fixtures in double game week 33. We can see at the bottom, Spurs will play at home against Brighton and then they play away against Wolves, so potentially a good game week for Spurs. Nottingham Forest at home against Burnley, away against Sunderland, potentially good fixtures for Nottingham Forest. This Aston Villa as well at home against Sunderland and away against Fulham. And all those other teams, as you can see, there are some really interesting teams to target in double game week 33. So the reason why this might be a double game week for those teams is the fact that they will play the FA Cup and they will have a blank in game week 34. And they also, most of those teams are still competing in Europe. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, and we have Newcastle and Crystal Palace, Aston Villa as well. So the reason why this will most probably be a double game week 33 is the fact that the fixture cannot be played in game week 34. They first have the FA Cup and then they will play in Europe. So no time to reschedule the fixture in game week 34. So it will most probably be played in game week 33. So as we can see in this one, game week 33, no European games between game week 33 and game week 34. So this is the reason why game week 33 will likely be the biggest double game week so far this season. So we can see between game week 29, between game week 30, 31, 32, there are European midweek games. Between game week 33, game week 34, no European midweek games. We have this between 34, 35. European games between game week 35 and game week 36. So potentially game week 36 can be another time to reschedule those fixtures, especially if both teams reaching the FA Cup final. If they are still competing in Europe, they will most probably blank in game week 37 and will have a double in game week 36. I think it's a bit too early to tell the likelihood of a potential blank game week 37 and a potential double game week 36. It really depends on how the FA Cup results go. So I will of course give other updates closer to those game weeks. So if you're interested, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss those updates. So when it comes to chip strategy, I have already played my triple captain, played it in double game week 26. I went for Rice, good decision. Rice, he got 14 points, so he actually was one of the better triple captain options in double game week 26. So from game week 28 until game week 31, I will use my transfers. We know at this point that there will be a blank, most probably for Crystal Palace and Man City, and it's guaranteed that Arsenal and Wolves will blank. So I will use my transfers to sell a couple of Arsenal assets, potentially Man City as well. So I will have a solid team for blank game week 31. In game week 32, I will most probably use my wildcard and set up a good bench boost team for double game week 33. As mentioned, it looks like this will be the biggest double game week so far this season. So wildcard in game week 32, bench boost in game week 33. Thing is that in the next game week, in blank game week 34, a lot of the teams that played twice in game week 33 will blank in game week 34. So using the free hit to have a solid team in blank game week 34 really makes sense. So to take advantage of the biggest double and the biggest blank, I think you have to use both your wildcard and your free hit. So if you have your wildcard and free hit, I think this is a really good strategy. So if you have your triple captain, it can potentially be saved for double game week 36. As mentioned earlier, we're not really sure if there will be a double game week 36, but if your team really needs it, it's perfectly fine to play your wildcard a bit earlier and use your transfers later. So playing your wildcard in game week 28 to game week 31 can potentially be a solid strategy as well. I will make a wildcard video and free hit video ahead of game week 28, so if you're interested, the link will be in the description down below. Please let me know what you think about this chip strategy in the comments down below. Consider giving this video a like if you think it's helpful, and subscribe to the channel for more FPL content.